Easily the most shocking trade in NBA history, maybe even sports history. Luka Doncic being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Davis going to the Mavericks. This is insane, dog. I've never seen anything like it. As you can see right here, I'm a huge Luka Doncic fan, been a fan of his game since 2017 in Real Madrid. It's just crazy. The reasoning that Nico Harrison had about the defense factor, okay, obviously that's a thing. You tell me, anyone in the comments right now watching this video, if the Dallas Mavericks would have made the playoffs, let alone the finals without Luka last year. Yes, they have Kyrie, and it has some solid pieces. Come on now, let's be real. It's insane, and yes, you got Anthony Davis back. You're gonna have Kyrie. You have a lot of depth and things of that nature. I just don't see the long-term plan and the direction that Nico Harrison sees, because yes, they could be good for the next 3 to 4 years. Are they really gonna win a championship? They could. I mean, there's a lot of ifs there. Anthony Davis has to stay healthy. All things have to go right, things of that nature. Jason Kidd was an assistant coach on the Lakers staff when they won the championship in the bubble with Anthony Davis on the team. So there's some things there, but in my opinion, I just don't think the Mavericks won this trade at all. And what Kevin Durant said, it's so true.
Gotta be the biggest trade I've seen since I've been in the league, or since I've been watching the sport. Every other team might get confidence and say, fuck it, I'll trade my you know what I'm saying? NBA is a wild place, man. If he can get traded, then anybody's up, you know?
That's so real, man. If Luka isn't safe, no one is. We know the trade deadline comes in a few days on February 6th at the recording of this video. That's essentially like the Nuggets trading Jokic in a way, because Luka is or was their franchise player. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And this might be an exaggeration, but I really don't think it might be. I don't think Nico Harrison is safe in Dallas. Bro, are you serious right now? You made this trade in the dark like that. And I know LeBron was caught off guard. Of course, Luka was caught off guard. Anthony Davis caught off guard as well. This is gonna be crazy, and it's easily the most shocking trade of all time. I think it goes without saying. And we're gonna go into the points of both sides in this video. Why, in my opinion, I think the Lakers won this trade, and this is gonna be the answer to them having prosperity and success in the post-LeBron era, and why I think the Mavericks, while they could be good right now in the next 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years, why their future is absolutely cooked. And I mean it. It's just insane to me. I'm still so shocked by it. You just don't do this stuff. You don't trade the second player in NBA history in playoff points per game scoring behind Michael Jordan. You don't trade an all-NBA player who has made the all-NBA team 5 years in a row. He's not going to make it this year because of injury-wise and things of that nature. But Luka is that guy, dog. And I know he hasn't played since Christmas, but best believe when the Lakers play the Mavericks for the rest of Luka's career, he is going to torch them, and they're going to regret this. We're also, of course, going to talk about De'Aaron Fox being traded to the Spurs, Zach LaVine being reunited with DeMar DeRozan in Sacramento, and those type of trades, but the Luka Doncic to the Lakers trade is a central focus. But with that being said, though, guys, before I get deeper into the video, let me know in the comments down below, who do you think won the trade? What was your initial reaction to it? Did you think it was fake? Because I certainly thought it was fake too. Shout out to my boy Cullen, who sent the screenshot to our group chat. I didn't even see it. I have Sham's notifications on. I didn't even see it. I had to go back to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and look. Oh my gosh, it's just so insane. I still don't think it's real, but it obviously is, and I just can't believe it. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought of it. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and turn on post notifications. You know what we post about here, videos about the NBA, NFL, Marvel, DC, pop culture, all things of that nature. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, TikTok at SwaggyRuss02. And with that being said, let's talk about why this Luka Doncic Lakers trade is the most shocking one in NBA history.
I had an all-star, current NBA all-star text me and say, do you know how much the Mavericks must hate Luka?
So yes, as we know the full trade details, the Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first round pick, and then the Jazz are involved too, and we know what they got. I'm not going to get too much into that. You see it on the screen. By the time they're able to draft that 2029 first round pick, Luka will be 30 years old, really in his prime then. Yeah, this is a bad trade. No one can convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. But it just doesn't make sense, dude. I saw something that came out saying that Luka reached a weight of almost 270. You can work that stuff out, and the real thing about it now, with Luka going to the Lakers, he's going to learn from LeBron James to get his body right. That's going to be a scary factor, and obviously he doesn't have the same genetics, things of that nature too, but he's going to learn the discipline, learn the motive, and I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder now to prove, especially the Mavs, wrong, why he can be a reason to win the championship. And imagine like a Western Conference Finals in the future between the Lakers and the Mavericks, and Luka just torches them. That would be insane, and I can definitely see that. But beyond that aspect of it, we're going to really flip-flop in terms of talking about it for the Lakers perspective and a Mavs perspective, and I want to talk about it from the Mavs right now real quick, because them getting Anthony Davis, obviously that's going to be a huge boost to their defense and just overall changing their play style, but really in a good way. But I still just don't understand it. Like in the intro, as y'all heard from my reaction, I think that the Lakers won this. Yeah, they might have a more deep team right now than the Lakers for sure. You have Kyrie, you have Anthony Davis, you have even more bigs like Anthony Davis lobbied for the Lakers to trade for, having a big like a Daniel Gafford, more versatile wings like PJ Washington, and also if he can return Derek Lively too, as two true centers in your lineup with Lively and Gafford, you can allow Anthony Davis to play the 4 position and they can thrive that way. But really, what's interesting to me, Nico Harrison, the general manager for the Mavs said that this gives us a chance to win now and in the future. In the future, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know that Anthony Davis, I believe next month turns 32 and Kyrie turns 33 in March as well. So this is a win now move, because if you don't win in the next 3 to 4 years, I don't believe the Mavericks have a first round pick until the 2030 draft or 2031 draft. It's just insane. So you mortgages your franchise player that's 25 years old, not even 26 until the end of this month, because you thought that quote defense wins championships. And we know how great Anthony Davis is, and he's been really healthy the past 2 years for the most part, but you never know when an injury could happen. Not speaking that to existence, of course, but it's just a very questionable trade, and I know Mavericks fans are very upset. The Western Conference obviously right now has been dominated by teams at the top, with the Thunder, a surprise team in the Houston Rockets who has emerged to play great this year. Still have teams like the Grizzlies and the Lakers. They've been playing really good basketball right now too. As we currently stand, they're the 5th seed, and they got a really good win over the Knicks on Saturday primetime, with LeBron James having a 30-point triple-double. So that's the scary part. But just for me, I just don't see too much of what the Mavericks will do. And the only reason, in my opinion, obviously Kyrie played great in the playoffs too, but you were in the finals because of Luka. So the fact that they felt like that they don't need him anymore, that they were frustrated instead of empathizing with Luka when he got injured and wanted really to get him out, I wonder how many share that sentiment in the Dallas Mavericks locker room and just in general. I just don't understand the reasoning for this. But not talking about it from the Luka and Lakers perspective, what he means for the Lakers, this is going to be insane. First and foremost, we know how global of a name Luka Doncic is, what he's been able to do since he was drafted in 2018. But now him going into the Lakers market alongside LeBron James until whenever LeBron retires, make no mistake, he's going to be a marquee player that people want to play with in LA for the next decade plus. And that's for sure. His game, it doesn't rely on athleticism. And if he can just get into a little better shape, if he can learn from LeBron, train with LeBron, things like that, we're going to see an absolute insane Super Saiyan version of Luka Doncic. And we already thought that he was really a top 5. Really, you can make the argument that he's the best player in the league when he's healthy. But now the game is just going to be even more elevated, and it comes so easy to him as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the Lakers fill out things in terms of adding a big, in terms of getting more depth, because it will be interesting if they keep Austin Reeves too. I mean, that'll be another additional ball handler. If they would be able to mesh with LeBron, with Luka, or if they're going to make some more trades, which is certainly possible. We have a few days until the trade deadline. But for me, I just think that Luka is going to be even more motivated. And Luka already plays with an edge, but even now, it's going to be amplified. So ESPN NBA reporter Shams talked really a lot recently about how potentially year 23 or 24 could be the last year for LeBron. Obviously, this is his 22nd season right now. So say if the Lakers have one more year with LeBron James and you have Luka turning 27, going into the 26-27 year, that's going to be an insane leap, and it'll be interesting to see who they surround him with, because now having him, JJ Redick, who was his former teammate in Dallas at the end of JJ's career, which is insane to say as head coach, it's going to be a great dynamic to see what they do there with Luka. So I think he has a chance to be the next Laker great. For the Dallas Mavericks, I'm just really not understanding it in terms of the future aspect. I understand the win now, and you think that defense can win championships, but at the same time, dude, say if the Mavericks were to make the finals, I don't think that they're beating Boston when Boston has everything in sync and in control. But even teams like the Thunder, I wouldn't pick the Mavs as they're now constructed with Anthony Davis with the Thunder. I know that the Thunder are young, things of that nature too, but mind you that Chet Holmgren is still injured, and after recording this video, they've still only lost 9 games. So that's incredible in itself there. But I'm just not sold on the Mavs right now. I know a lot of people, I've seen some people say that they think the Mavs won the trade, that this gives them a good chance to win and they'll have some defense, unlike how they did in the finals last year, but they wouldn't have been in the finals without Luka. This is the same guy that essentially averages 31 points per game, 9 rebounds and 8 assists in the playoffs, and 50 games in his playoff career so far at the age of 25 years old. Averaged 34 points per game last season, and mind you, he has the 3rd highest scoring average in NBA history, only underneath the likes of Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. I just don't get it. I really don't. I wish I could say more. I wish I could elaborate on it, but that's why you don't see teams trade their players not even in their prime yet. But we haven't seen a player like Luka, the game comes so easily to him. You can't speed him up. His playmaking, his scoring ability, it's electric. And the main thing for me also with the Mavericks though, you just hit up the Lakers and essentially said, hey, we want Anthony Davis, we'll give you Luka essentially, and some more capital, things of that nature. The thing about that too, okay, hypothetically, you want to trade Luka Doncic, which I talked about earlier in the intro with Kevin Durant saying that no one's safe if Luka can get traded. If you're going to trade him, you open that to the whole NBA, because most teams, actually, you can make the case all NBA teams would be trying to conjure up some capital, players, all things of that nature to trade for Luka Doncic. He is a generational talent, and you just trade him for the package that you got. I think it's just going to come back to bite them in the future. And like I said, Luka is going to torch them for years to come. I think he genuinely loved being a Dallas Maverick, and I think this is a trade that we would have never thought. We always would see different reports, false reports, you know, photoshops, things of that nature, saying that the Lakers in the future are preparing themselves for a run at Luka Doncic. The Lakers didn't come up with this, mind you. The Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison hit up Rob Pelinka in the Lakers and asked for this deal essentially. So it just doesn't make sense to me, guys. I'm going to continue to say that. I probably said that a lot, and I apologize for that, but this is just shocking. This is the definition of shocking, and that's why I put that in the intro. So words are beyond comprehension right now. Yes, I'm a Luka Doncic fan, but just in general looking at it, because I'm a fan of players in the NBA and my favorite team is the Rockets, but my favorite players are Luka Doncic and D Book in the league right now. It's just a crazy thing to see, and I really do genuinely feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans in terms of losing their franchise player who they've loved. He is a Los Angeles Laker. That's almost impossible to comprehend. Mind you, also, he's only played 22 games this year, and he's averaging 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, and almost 8 assists in that time span too, so I just don't get it. This is a guy that had a 73-point game last year, had a 60-20 and 10 game as well in the 22-23 season. This is a guy that's on a Hall of Fame trajectory in Luka Doncic. I just don't understand why you make this trade, and I definitely don't understand people who think that the Mavericks won this trade. Come on, dog. The Timberwolves traded 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. Are we literally comparing Gobert to Luka? Like, come on now. And that's why they should have opened this up. Like, it's just crazy. So yes, in this 3-team deal between the Spurs, the Kings, and the Chicago Bulls, the Spurs received De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Then the Kings received Zach LaVine, Cisco, I don't know, I said his name wrong definitely. 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. In the Bulls, they got Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick. I mean, this is a good trade for the Spurs. I would say they're definitely the biggest winners out of this. They have a running mate for Victor Wembanyama in the future, and De'Aaron Fox, who's a proven all-star player, arguably a top 5 point guard in the league, who is great offensively and defensively. So that's gonna help propel the Spurs, in my opinion. They went from being a potential play-in team this year to maybe even a top 5 to 6 seed when it's all said and done by the end of the regular season in the Western Conference. We will see how things go, of course. But the real thing about the Spurs making this trade too, they were able to keep players like a Stephon Castle, even still having a Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. So I think that they're only going to continue to get better. For the Kings, it's an okay trade, I would say. We've seen DeMar and Zach LaVine play together before, and they have Sabonis now, who's an upgrade over Vucevic when they play with the Bulls. So I guess it's good from that perspective. But honestly, if I'm being real, I don't expect too much from the Sacramento Kings. But they can prove me wrong. And for the Bulls, they're trying to get in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes probably from the looks of it, because what they received is definitely not it for sure. Also, before I finish, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Jimmy Butler in this conversation. Look, I don't know if he's going to be traded by the time the trade deadline goes on. He doesn't want to play for Golden State. Apparently, he wouldn't sign an extension there if he were to get traded there. I don't know what's going on, dog. Whoever wants him wants him. It seems like he wants to go to Phoenix, which I'm also a Book fan while also being a Luka fan. I know y'all might roast me for that. Who cares? We'll see if he ends up going to Phoenix. I don't see that happening, but that's a whole mess in itself right there in Miami. So we'll see what happens with Jimmy Butler as well. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much my thoughts about the trade. I'm just still so befuddled by it. I know Mavericks fans are so sad right now. It's just crazy. I think Nico Harrison, he shouldn't even go to another Mavericks game. He will get booed. Like, he will get booed. No one wanted to see Luka go. I can guarantee you that. Luka didn't ask to trade or anything like that. The main thing about it is, which I brought up earlier, and we're not going to feel bad for millionaires, obviously, things of that nature, but with him being traded to the Lakers, you know that he lost out on that 5-year, $345 million contract extension, and now the most he can get right now is 4 years, $229 million on the contract extension. Both is still a lot of money. Still, that's pretty messed up in my opinion. And we talked about the weight factor, all things of that nature. I don't care what he was, bro. He was giving people 35 points per game, 30 plus points per game at that weight, and obviously that's going to be another factor that they'll key in Los Angeles, but you just don't make a move like that. So like I said, y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all thought about this trade. I appreciate you guys always watching. Make sure if you're new to the channel, hit the like button and subscribe, share, turn on post notifications. There's a lot more NBA content coming, especially with the NFL season over with. NBA basketball is my favorite forever. I already know, as you can see. But yeah, guys, so let me know what y'all think. Y'all be blessed. Know that you have purpose, you have value. God loves you, God is love, and he loves you. And get things right with Jesus, because he is the way, the truth, and the life. Y'all have a good one. Y'all be blessed and keep being legendary.